Yo gamers, it's Legendarma TV. Today's video will feature Latiya. Latiya is a counter-based magical Amazonian woman that uses a huge lance for attacking and defending. And she does both exceptionally well. Before we move to the skills of Latiya, a quick reminder that you can skip that portion of the video if you are already familiar with her kit, and proceed straight to combos and so on. Let's go. First on the list is Active Lion's Rage. This is an SP skill. When used, Latiya will do a quick 2 sets of small strings, dealing massive damage and restoring 2 warrior claws per set. The skill can also combo into Eagle Step at the end, for even more damage and another warrior claw. Cheetah Strike. When you press tab, Latiya will grapple forward. If you press right click after the grapple, she will start a combo with Cheetah Strike that then can be chained into Eagle Stab. Eagle Stab is a combo of 3 left clicks into right click. However, you would never want to use it as it is, but only as a combo extender for previous 2 skills we went through. Upon landing the right click, you will restore 1 warrior claw. Level this skill as soon as possible. This is going to be your go-to combo extender, damage source, and a warrior claw restoration tool. Grizzly Slash. A left-left into right-right-right combo that restores 1 warrior claw per smash. This is a very nice combo if you are out of claws and SP skills are on cooldown. Also does decent damage. Hunt Breathing. This skill increases your maximum amount of warrior claws up to 4 and unlocks 2 sub-abilities. If you press Q or tab and it successfully connects on the enemy, Latiya will either hook small enemies to her, like Scorpion in Mortal Kombat, or grapple towards them. Each Q and tab abilities use 1 warrior claw. Rhino Horn. An L into RR combo that is fantastic to restore stamina. Keep in mind that only the smashes, the right clicks, restore it. Trace of Kuja. As I said before, each Q and tab spends 1 warrior claw. Q increases your attack speed by 10 for 60 seconds, and tab allows you to stay glued to the boss and combo it right into smashes, dealing massive damage. If you level up Trace of Kuja, both hook, your Q, and grapple, your tab, upon successful land will grant you Kuja, or blue buff for a short period of time that increases your damage by 12%. Wild Fang. Dash into RRR. This is a gap closer that also chains into Rhino Horn smashes, which in return restores stamina. Fantastic ability. Wild Step. Your basic dodge ability. The iframes are pretty nice, however you lose damage every time you use it for defending. Wolf Thrash. Same as Wild Fang minus the dash. Simply spam right click to deal damage and restore stamina. Active Snake Coil. Another great active ability. Latiya spins her magic hook around, dealing damage, restoring large amounts of stamina, and extends the duration of blue and red buffs. It also chains into Grizzly Slash, which allows us to restore warrior claws afterwards. Crocodile Scales. Basic block ability. This will be your best defense and offense starter. The iframes and hitbox on the block are very forgiving and large, so get used to blocking. You will love it. Rhino Rush, one of the core Latiya abilities. This is a counter. Upon successful block, you can press right-click, and Latiya will gain massive iframes and drill the target, dealing illegal amounts of damage. Rhino Rush requires 1 warrior claw. Active Light of Kuja. Upon use, Latiya will fly forward, dealing damage to the enemy, gaining iframes. If the enemy attacks you during Light of Kuja, it will prompt Rhino Rush. Simply use Light of Kuja during enemy attack and press right-click to deal nuclear bomb damage to the enemy. Light of Kuja will also grant you the blue buff. Active Elephant Stamp. A hard-hitting active skill that deals large amounts of damage. Has a small iframe window at the beginning. This SP skill has one fantastic thing about it. Once you use Elephant Stamp, you will get a panther buff called Shuja. Next time you use tab, Q, or Light of Kuja, it will consume Shuja and give you red buff for a short period of time. The red buff increases your damage by 15%. And finally, Panther Pounce. Basic hold ability. Very badass, just like any of the hold moves, used to stun the enemy. giving free DPS window for the party. For the common skills, level Smash Mastery, Standing Endurance to rank 9, and Battle Respiration. Transformation, choose whichever you like aesthetically, and level Fervor to gain massive additional damage stat boost during trance. Now that we are somewhat familiar with Latiya Skills, let's look more in-depth into her specifics. First and foremost will be Warrior's Claw. This unique resource allows Latiya to start her combos and deal massive damage during them. The maximum amount of claws is 4. Every time you use Q, which is your hook, Tab, which is your grapple, Rhino Rush, which is your counter, or Rhino Rush during Light of Kuja, you will spend 1 Warrior's Claw. It is quite important to manage the claws properly, because every claw allows you to counter after a block or Light of Kuja, apply attack speed buff through Q, and grapple through Tab to gap close and skip normal attacks, gaining instant access to smashes. To restore Warrior's Claws, you can either use Eagle Stab as it is, which is 3 left clicks into 3 right clicks. This, however, will only give you 1 claw, and this is not recommended, so don't do that. Active Lion's Rage into 3 right clicks afterwards will net you 5 claws total. Eagle Stab after Tab, which is Tab into 3 right clicks. This will be 2 claws. 2 light clicks into 3 right clicks, which is Grizzly Slash. This will be 3 claws in total. And Grizzly Slash after Snake Coil. So use your active Snake Coil and then into 3 right clicks. This will be 3 claws as well. Kuja and Shuja, the blue and red buffs. Every time you use Q, Tab, or Light of Kuja and they successfully hit the target, you will gain Kuja, the blue buff. This buff does not last long, but increases your damage by 12%. Whenever you use Elephant Stamp, you will gain a Panther buff. Upon using Q, Tab, or Light of Kuja again, you will gain Shuja, the red buff. This will increase your damage by 15%. The blue buff will be applied almost all the time during sandbags, because you will use Tab a lot to skip to smashes. As for the red buff, it serves as an overpowered opener if we have enough SP, and also is great paired with Light of Kuja. In TLDR, blue buff will auto-apply all the time if you use Tab RRR combo, and red buff will give you a disgustingly damaging opener and a couple of enhanced Lights of Kuja during the fights. Moving on to combos. Do not forget to Q to gain 10 attack speed for 60 seconds. And make sure you have it refreshed so it doesn't drop completely. You can cancel Elephant Stamp with anything to skip the long animation lock while Latiya takes out the lance from the ground. This doesn't really deal a lot of damage and is quite risky since you only gain iframes at the very beginning. Tab RRR, which is a perfect sandbag combo, and it is very amazing to control your claws. You only spend 1 claw through Tab and you gain 2 back. So this is going to be an amazing tool. Block into R, which is our counter. This is massive damage and iframes. Lion's Rage into 3 right clicks, or Lion's Rage RRR. This is huge, deals a lot of damage and also restores 5 Warrior Claws. Snake Coil into 3 Rs is also massive. Not only you extend your blue and red buffs with it, restore stamina and also claws and deal absolutely massive damage. I want to say that all of the Latiya's active abilities, skills, they're quite amazing and have a lot of things in them. One of the most damaging combos, which unfortunately also tied to a cooldown, is Light of Kuja into right click. Whenever it attacks, you will prompt an R during the Light of Kuja and deal massive amounts of damage. You can also do an enhanced version of the previous combo, which is Elephant Stamp Cancel into Light of Kuja into R. This is giga damage and iframes. Two left clicks into 3 right clicks is an amazing combo to restore 3 claws, but as I said before, make sure you use it only if you're completely out of claws and all of the abilities are on cooldown. And one more thing, I call it a nuclear opener if we have SP. So basically what we do, we pop the paw, Q, into Stamp, cancel, into Light of Kuja, into R, into Snake Coil combo with 3 right clicks, into Lion's Rage, into 3 right clicks, and then depending on whatever the boss is doing, we can do either 3 counters if it's a long string, or just 2-3 tabs RRR. This is just insane. This is just insane freaking opener or combo. It's a lot of damage. Defense. Latiya is very tanky thanks to her iframes and their duration. First of all, we have space, which is our basic block. This is iframes. And we also have our counter, which is R after a successful space. So both of them give you giga iframes, so you're going to be invincible for quite a while. Dash plus directional keys, WASD. This is a basic dodge, pretty nice iframes. Tab, whenever you are leaping with your grapple, gives you a small iframe. Light of Kuja and the counter of it, both of them give you iframes as well. Elephant Stamp gives you iframes as well, but it only gives you iframes at the start. As you can see, she was pulling the lance from the ground and I got hit. So I recommend to cancel the Elephant Stamp right after you connect with it. And of course the Panther Pounce, which is a hold move. It's a true iframe. You're completely invincible to anything. So just watch your very cool badass cutscene. Mobility. Despite the fact that Latiya carries a huge lance, she is quite agile. You can either use dash into R, into dash into R, just loop it, it's pretty fast, or tab plus directional keys to leap wherever you want, or tap into the boss to grapple towards them. Stamina management. Latiya is quite consistent on stamina, however you will occasionally run out of it, but it's not a big deal, since she can restore it on the fly. Dash into RR restores 70 stamina, L into RR restores 70 stamina as well, and the Snake Coil restores 130 stamina, artifacts and scrolls. This is quite interesting because Latiya can use any of the 3 main artifacts. Obviously, the Succubus Fang will serve you well while learning Redeemers or Time-Space raids. Cat Statue is a good option to have extra SP at the start of the battle for a strong opener or in clutch situations where you need it on the fly. Many modern Vindictus bosses have SP drain abilities, so Cat might be handy. Werewolf Paw gives us a much faster bursts and animation cancels. Let's say we're in the middle of Lion's Rage or Snake Coil, but boss's wind up I had to say it. Wind up signals a long string in which we can counter multiple times. Having Paw during these times will help a lot to cancel anything we do into a block, into a counter, resulting in huge amount of damage inflicted. Honestly, I believe both Cat and Paw are good, depending on your playstyle. As for the scrolls, right away, you will need either Resolved Ardor scrolls applied to your Rod Compass, which is a cheap version, or a Concerted Outburst, which is expensive version. All of these scrolls activate when you hit an enemy and give 125 SP and 5% attack speed for 15 seconds. They also have a cooldown. The reason we choose those is that Latiya doesn't do a lot of attacks per minute, so random low chance proccing scrolls like Calm or Dash, they deem to be quite inconsistent. And lastly, Awakenings. This is quite important because having the right awakenings will make your life as Latiya way easier and the damage way higher. Start with 8% damage awakenings and then move on to 10% once your bank allows it. So the following abilities, which are Cheetah Strike, Eagle Stab, Grizzly Slash, Rhino Horn, Wild Fang, Wolf Thrash, Panther Pounce, and Rhino Rush, go for damage. For the Lion's Rage, I would like to say that I prefer 5-second cooldown on it, but damage works just fine as well. And for the rest of the active skills, which is Snake Coil, Light of Kuja, and Elephant Stamp, definitely go for the SP reduction. This will make your life so much easier and all of these active skills accessible. And that's all you need to know about Latiya. Give her a go if you're new, or gear share or transfer equipment if you hunger for damage and consistency. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. Love you 3000, stay safe, and I see you next time.